sex charges laid against a Rocky View County senior. His accuser says she was attacked at a riding camp while a teenager.
It was for other people too, so that I could share my story and I could help other people feel less alone.
Plus, Pierre Poilievre addresses Conservatives in Calgary.
Bring down the temperature and focus on ideas rather than the rhetoric.
What attendees want to hear before they cast a vote on his leadership. And remembering beloved Canadian actor Katherine O'Hara.
You can't put a price on dignity.
Tell that to your outfit.
This is your outfit.
The Emmy Award winner who filled a lifetime with laughter.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Police have issued a warrant for an Alberta man facing sexual assault charges that date back to his time running a horse ranch in Clearwater County. RCMP said the investigation started after they heard from a young woman who first attended summer camp at the ranch in 2018. Alicia Philberg reports.
Wild Horse Ranch offers camps and retreats near Rocky Mountain House in central Alberta. One woman says she spent several summers there as a teenager. And while she was a camper, she was sexually assaulted by someone running the ranch.
Very hard to explain the emotional toll it's taken. As a teenager, a kid you're ashamed of, you don't want to talk about it.
RCMP began investigating her complaints in 2024.
A victim who was a participant at a horse ranch in Clearwater County. And the sex assaults are alleged to have occurred by the owner of that particular ranch.
2 weeks ago, RCMP charged and issued an arrest warrant for Barry Francis Baker, also known as Bear. The 72-year-old faces charges of sexual assault by choking, and sexual exploitation.
We don't believe Mr. Baker is cooperating with us. We have made application and received a warrant for his arrest.
Court documents allege the sex crimes happened between 2018 and 2020. The woman who contacted RCMP cannot be identified under a publication ban, but says she was 16 when the incidents began.
Warning just for parents in general to be extremely careful where they're sending their children, especially their young girls.
Wild Horse Ranch's website no longer shows Baker as part of the team. The operator tells CTV News, "He has nothing to do with Wild Horse Ranch. I am the full owner and solo entrepreneur of Wild Horse Ranch." RCMP says the investigation only involves one victim.
Right now, as it stands, based on the information I have, there is no call out for additional victims.
The young woman who came forward hopes her story might make a difference for others.
So other girls and women don't feel so alone, because it was a very isolating experience.
And Alicia joins us now. So Alicia, what else do we know about Baker?
Well, Tara, Baker has no previous charges, but now faces these three counts, including sexual assault by choking. Now, the matter will be heard in Rocky Mountain House, but there are no court dates yet until Baker follows the court summons. RCMP say if needed, they can extend warrants across Canada. Now, they urge Baker to turn himself in, or anyone who might know where he is, to leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. Tara?
Okay, Alicia, thank you. A jury in Nevada has convicted Dances with Wolves actor Nathan Chasing Horse for sexually assaulting a minor. Jurors convicted Chasing Horse Friday of several charges, including multiple charges of sexual assault. Court heard one of the victims was 14 years old. The former actor also faced criminal charges in Alberta, BC, and Montana, with Satina police issuing warrants for sexual exploitation and sex assault. Calgary police say 2 suspicious deaths in the northeast community of Redstone this week are not believed to be linked to a series of extortion attempts in the area. Officers were called to a home on Redstone Park early Wednesday morning to find 2 people suffering from severe injuries. A man and a woman in their 20s died. Police are not releasing the cause of death. They say they are still investigating the case. They have, however, ruled out a connection to ongoing extortion attempts targeting the South Asian community, including recent shootings in Redstone and Taradale that happened just days earlier. Pierre Poilievre is set to face the biggest test of his leadership yet, a vote on whether he should stay on. The Conservative Party leader will take the stage soon in front of thousands of delegates. Jordan Canagan is at the BMO Centre tonight. So, Jordan, today was about policy and finding a path forward.
And Tara, there were hours and hours that were spent in backdoor meetings talking about policy, priorities, and proposals, and all of those taking place behind closed doors across the BMO Centre. But everything that all of the delegates are looking forward to will come out of the speech tonight. Pierre Poilievre set to hit the stage in about 30 minutes' time.
All those opposed?
Canadian Conservatives are having their say on the future of the party after last year's election loss.
It was a success, but it wasn't a win. Still, when you go behind that curtain, it's still your private franchise, and you decide as you will at that time.
Policy proposal talks are happening in private before the most popular items hit the floor. Friday, a day of voting, set to be capped off by the most important vote of all, whether Pierre Poilievre is still the right person to lead.
And people are going to be watching for the possibility that some people who are dissatisfied with his leadership either leave the party, some of his caucus maybe just sit as independents in the House of Commons, or perhaps even cross the floor.
Before the vote, the Conservative leader will take the stage and make his pitch to stay on, while also talking about key issues for the party.
Affordable food, groceries, rent, but also making sure that there's real action, not just words, on issues that maintain Canada's sovereignty, like when is a shovel going to get in the ground on pipelines?
Those frustrations leading to growing separatist sentiment in Alberta. Some Conservative delegates want to hear the party leader address the issue head on.
I would love for Mr. Poilievre to talk a little bit about the succession and bring down the temperature and focus on ideas rather than the rhetoric. And I think he's done well so far. But I would, I'm hoping Mr. Poilievre can just focus on solving problems.
Now, as of about 5 minutes ago, Poilievre was still behind closed doors running through his practice speech. It will get going for real at 6:30. He's expected to speak for about an hour. Following that speech is when voting on his leadership future will commence. We are expecting results from that vote to come sometime just before midnight tonight. We also anticipate Alberta Premier Danielle Smith will take the stage at this convention tomorrow morning. Tara?
Okay, Jordan Canagan at the BMO tonight. Jordan, thank you. A Northern Alberta MLA who was expelled from the UCP caucus last year says he is not joining the newly named Progressive Tory Party. Lesser Slave Lake MLA Scott Sinclair became an independent after speaking out against the UCP budget. He joined the Alberta Party last summer and said he wanted to work with Peter Guthrie, who was also kicked out of the UCP caucus for criticizing the government's handling of health contracts. Since then, Guthrie has become party leader and renamed the Alberta Party the Progressive Tory Party. Alberta's Blood Tribe First Nation is advising its band members to take precautions when crossing into the United States, even though centuries-old treaty rights should protect them. A story we reported yesterday incorrectly stated the Blood Tribe had heard some of its members being stopped and detained, but the Blood Tribe's advisory actually says it had heard of individuals being stopped and detained, and we apologize for any error.
You're watching CTV News Calgary.
She made us laugh for more than 5 decades through so many beloved and often quirky characters. Katherine O'Hara was a comedic powerhouse who left her mark on the industry. She passed away at the age of 71. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has her story.
Do we set the timers on the lights?
Considered a cultural trailblazer and the queen of improv,
Kevin!
Katherine O'Hara had a rare ability to give complex and often eccentric characters depth and humanity. A craft she mastered at the famed improv theatre Second City in her hometown of Toronto. She started there waiting tables.
Want to fall in love?
But in 1974, her love for acting would land her a role on the hugely successful Second City television.
Gonna be a frosty snow girl, I'm gonna deck your halls.
She had no formal training, but O'Hara's enthusiastic spirit and determination quickly made her an award-winning star in Canada.
If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me.
Propelling her to international fame with roles in hit movies from Beetlejuice.
Oh! What the? Are you all right?
To the mockumentary comedy film Best in Show.
I sense there's something in the wind.
And the cult classic animated movie The Nightmare Before Christmas.
My bag! It's gone!
But one of the roles she's best known for, Moira Rose in the hit show Schitt's Creek.
Crocodile back to want my gave me.
Her performance in the Canadian production was met with critical acclaim and garnered her multiple acting awards.
I would love to stand up here and tell you this was all just a walk in the cake, but it wasn't.
At one of her last appearances at TIFF just 4 months ago, O'Hara thanked her longtime friend and colleague, Eugene Levy.
When I think of my happiest days in this adventure in show business, I realize most of them have been with you.
An adventure in show business that spanned more than 50 years. O'Hara was 71. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
What a star. Yeah. Well, I guess you could stay inside all weekend and just watch Katherine O'Hara movies, but if you don't, it's pretty nice out.
Maybe you can bring the TV out on the deck. It's really going to be
idea.
Patio weather out there. The barbecues, you could light those up too. I mean, we got to a high of 10 degrees today. Just a couple of minutes ago, we saw that temperature dip down slightly to this 9 degrees that we're currently at the airport. Winds out of the west right now at 11 kilometers an hour. And you know, when we've got those westerly winds, usually that's going to result in some good weather conditions, at least a warm up. My screen tilted in an interesting direction here, but you can still get an indication of those wind speeds right now. The purple showing the most strongest speeds, and that is predominantly in the extreme southwest corner of the province right now. In fact, there is a yellow level wind warning if you are in the Pincher Creek Crow's Nest Pass area. We're going to gradually cool off tonight to a nice low of 2 degrees, and we're going to pick things right back up to a high of 10 once again for tomorrow, Tara, and there's even more double-digit temperatures in store later in the week.
Thank you, Gina. There is a brand new space for Indigenous ceremonies and programming at the former Fort Calgary. The grand opening was held at the Confluence Historic Site this morning. It's called the Holy Gathering Place, or Natawabi Daganope in Blackfoot. Indigenous organizations and individuals can book the indoor and outdoor space at no charge. The event also celebrated the opening of a vibrant mural created by artist Nicole Wolfe. It wraps around the exterior of the Holy Gathering Place.
We are so grateful to the community. We could not be more excited to have and invite people in. We've already had a number of bookings that we've piloted the space, and it's been a wonderful reception.
The facility will be run by the Confluence and the Aboriginal Friendship Centre. Funding comes from the city's capital grant program. A popular watering hole in the Beltline says its future is threatened. We'll explain why people are rallying to support the ship and anchor. Also ahead, Donald Trump threatens to decertify new Canadian planes, why he's aiming his anger at Bombardier. Bombardier shares took a nosedive following a new threat from the U.S. president over certification and tariffs. Shares for the Canadian-made aircraft dropped as much as 9% at one point today. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more from Ottawa.
Bombardier's Global 8000 is billed as the world's fastest civil aircraft since the Concorde. But it could be grounded in the U.S. as President Donald Trump targets the Quebec company as apparent retribution over the certification of an American jet in Canada. On Truth Social, Trump wrote the U.S. was decertifying their Bombardier Global Expresses and all aircraft made in Canada until such time as Gulfstream, a great American company, is fully certified. Gulfstream is a direct competitor of Bombardier, and industry experts point out there are reasons Canada has been holding off.
The U.S. has certified the Gulfstream 700 and the 800 with exemptions to look at that aircraft not being certified for very cold weather operations because of fuel line problems.
In response to the threat of decertifying Canadian aircraft, Bombardier said in a statement, thousands of private and civilian jets built in Canada fly in the U.S. every day. We hope this is quickly resolved to avoid a significant impact to air traffic and the flying public. But it remains unclear if the U.S. president even has the authority to decertify aircraft.
The only way that the type certificate can be revoked is if there is a safety issue with the aircraft.
Now, this is just the latest salvo in the ongoing trade war, which has seen Trump ramp up his rhetoric against Canada following the Prime Minister's visit to China.
You can't look at China as the answer.
In a statement about the threat, Minister Steve McKinnon said Transport Canada officials are in communication with their U.S. counterparts, and the Canadian government is actively working on this situation. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Vancouver-based Jim Pattison Development says it will not be selling a Virginia warehouse property to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The department had said it wanted the site as an ice processing facility. A one-line statement posted online today comes after the pending sale sparked some intense criticism.
This is CTV News Calgary.
Let's bring Gina back in as we look ahead to our weekend forecast.
Yeah, it's always nice when I just get to bring good news day after day, and that's really going to be the case here for the weekend and well into next week. I mean, we're really not even at the halfway point of this warming trend we've been experiencing. It started earlier in the week, and it's just really going to start to ramp up throughout the weekend here. I mean, even today, we hit a high of 10 degrees, sitting at 9 right now. Yeah, it's a little cloudy out there, though. That'll start to clear out overnight. Winds, though, especially if you're joining us in the extreme south, those are going to remain pretty gusty throughout the evening hours here and into early morning on Saturday. In the city, not as big of a situation for us to monitor, but you can see that pretty intense wind belt here. I figured I'd bring this graphic back in at a more agreeable angle. You can just really see those most intense speeds right from the foothills extending into the Saskatchewan border there. In fact, the extreme southwest corner, Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass area, under that yellow level wind warning, as gusts could get up to 100 kilometers an hour, likely around 50 to 70 throughout the evening, but up to 100K, that can be pretty hazardous out there. If you have any loose objects in the yard, just make sure everything's anchored down so you don't see it go into your next door neighbor's field. We do have some rain north of us on the QE2 there. Nothing really hazardous though, but just a little wet the more north you go. Temperatures are amazing though. 9 degrees for Lethbridge and Calgary right now. In the more central part of the province, you see it gets a little cooler, especially in the capital region there, sitting at -1 right now. Tomorrow, another double-digit day for Calgary and for Lethbridge. Lots of sunshine on tap for tomorrow too, as we're going to see this ridge of high pressure really start to push in. A little windy, but nothing that we're not used to here in the city. Out of the west at 20 kilometers an hour. We'll see a bit more of that cloud move in on Sunday, 8 degrees, so still well above that seasonal high of usually -2. And then Groundhog Day, a meteorologist's nemesis of a day, mainly sunny at 9 degrees. And we're going to see spring-like conditions. I don't know what the groundhog has in store, but I'm going to say we're going to hold on to spring at least throughout the coming week and even into next week. Right at about February 11th, we'll start to see things change. Your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Gina. The mission carrying Canadian Jeremy Hansen and 3 other astronauts around the moon has been delayed. The first Artemis flight with a crew is now scheduled for no earlier than Sunday, February 8th. That's 2 days later than planned because of near freezing temperatures in the forecast. A crucial fueling test is now expected on Monday as the crew remains in quarantine in Houston. Their arrival at Kennedy Space Center in Florida is uncertain at this time. NASA has only a handful of days any given month to launch its first lunar crew in more than half a century. A soft drink giant is showing off its new automated warehouse. We'll give you a look inside at Coke's new high-tech facility here in Calgary. Also ahead, a river rescue. Wildlife officers save a bighorn sheep caught in the ice. A soft drink giant is expanding its territory in Calgary. Coke Canada Bottling opened a new high-tech, high-density warehouse in the northeast today. The bottling plant is a way to centralize the company's operations, but our local economy will see some benefits too. Here's Tim Brooke.
It's almost 12 stories tall and 60,000 square feet. But Coke Canada Bottling insists that's not what makes this new facility impressive.
It is fully automated. It's going to be able to do everything that you would need it to do to service our business, our customers, our consumers, again, with more speed and more agility.
This warehouse features the company's first ever automated storage and retrieval system. That means more tech to speed up and increase operations. But there's still room for humans, too.
The reality is we've got 500 employees here in this facility, and we're always upskilling. And you can see as they are learning and bringing on new skill sets that they actually can run the new equipment that we are investing in and putting into this building.
The build will help centralize storage within the company and reduce reliance on third parties. It'll also give a boost to the local economy.
Big investment. These guys don't take risks, so they saw an opportunity to put back into the community, and we just want more of that. We want more people to see that we're open for business.
This adds to the already $600 million our sector has invested in Alberta across 55 facilities. We have over 1,200 employees just here in Alberta.
And this $75 million project might not be the end of Coke Canada Bottling's western expansion.
The investment that we are making here really does demonstrate our long-term commitment to the city and to the province.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
The new build is on 23rd Street in the northeast beside Coke Canada's existing manufacturing facility and distribution centre. Meantime, Coca-Cola is discontinuing its Minute Maid frozen concentrated orange juice. The brand was once a staple in many Canadian homes. The company says the decision was made due to shifting consumer preferences. The owner of the Ship and Anchor pub is urging patrons and neighbours to speak up. It comes as a proposed residential development next door could threaten the future of the iconic venue. Mark Villani explains.
It's a place where big goals are scored. And where community members gather to have fun. The Ship and Anchor is a 35-year staple of 17th Avenue, but its future could be in jeopardy.
We're sure there's going to be noise complaints, and we're worried about the longevity of basically an institution. It's a part of Calgary's history.
Places like this, it's a business. It should be a business section.
There is just no way that you're going to build 130 units on this site and not greatly disrupt this business.
But City Council recently approved land use changes, which could allow the construction of 2 additional floors above the pub and opening the door for about 130 apartment units by developing the adjacent building. The decision could clear the way for the project to potentially advance past the permit stage, but the pub's owner is encouraging Calgarians to speak up, submitting their complaints to the city as it reviews the application and addressing concerns on why more density could restructure the building entirely.
Which means we're going to have columns being added inside the pub.
They're also worried that new tenants could make noise complaints.
If we keep turning off the music, we'll then just be turning off the lights.
Ship and Anchor regular Henry Fletcher Wilson already sent complaints to the city.
This is going to shut almost the entire pathway down. They'll probably have a walkway, but yeah, it'll destroy it. It's like what's happening in Marda Loop with all the construction.
We like them. We want them there.
The project's developers, Strategic Group, don't want to see the ship go.
Our tenants are going to come to our building because of what we are, because the Ship and Anchor is there. We designed it to minimize the noise transfer.
All the while, some say the iconic venue could evolve and that moving to a different neighborhood might be a better option.
You could find maybe a more appropriate location with some design elements and stuff that you never thought you needed.
Yet Calgary's mayor still believes there's a happy medium, a place where
you can go for recreational opportunities, you can go see a local live band, but also a place that you can live.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
The developer hopes construction could start as early as mid-year and take about 18 months to complete. A Banff ski resort is celebrating a century. Coming up, one family's personal connection to the hill's rich history. Exactly sure when people from Banff first hiked up Mount Norquay to ski down it, but staff at the resort found records that narrow it down to sometime in 1926. So this ski season, Norquay will celebrate its 100th anniversary. It's a huge milestone for the mountain, and many people are sharing stories from the past. Kevin Fleming has more.
It's like her second home, and that's because Kendall Hunter grew up in Banff but spent a lot of time at Mount Norquay. She's just 13 months old in this photo with her sister.
Every spot on the hill has a memory for me, pretty much, you know. Training on the rope tow, or, you know, riding up backwards on the T-bar with my friends goofing around or skiing through the trees.
Kendall's dad is local ski pioneer Eddie Hunter. This is a photo of him at age 15 after winning a ski competition at Norquay.
He has memories of walking up from Banff because his family didn't have a car and they would walk up the gully to watch the ski jumping. So he was pretty young.
Eddie is also turning 100 in 2026, and Kendall is sharing some of her family's stories in a blog celebrating the mountain's rich history.
When Dad talks about Norquay in those early days, it's the story I always have is just about him walking up before there was a lift, and just how incredulous that was, that people did that, you know.
At that time, they skied them in leather boots and wooden skis. And when I ski it today, I get tired skiing down. I could just imagine how it was back then when they walked up, skied down in that equipment. You know, they were really committed to this sport and enjoying themselves doing it.
Jim and Lynn Robertson have been skiing here for 20 years and live in Canmore. They come out about 3 times a week during the ski season.
The history is amazing. When you look at the old pictures of Marilyn Monroe out here skiing back in the day, no, there's a lot of history.
Over the years, countless people have learned how to ski at Norquay, and that's still one of the focuses today is teaching people how to ski. And in fact, Norquay can boast 5 members on the national ski team, with 1 heading to the Olympics next week. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Banff.
Resort staff are planning a celebration on Saturday, March 28th. Former staff, volunteers, ski club members, and the public, everyone's invited. We have more information on our website. Love to see those old photos. That's great. Yeah, I know. Well, wait till you see this. An incredible high-flying feat was pulled off in Dubai as a team of fearless skydivers sailed straight through the middle of a skyscraper. Okay, just watch. So they had dozens of practice jumps first. This is a team of elite wingsuit athletes from ex-Dubai. They took to the air at speeds of about 200 kilometers an hour to thread that needle.
Oh my gosh.
They shot through this keyhole, basically, of the CL Dubai Marina. This is the world's tallest hotel. That's incredible.
I think my only thought is, it's Dubai, so it's just another day there for them, you know. There's
everything there is like supersized.
They do the most, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The video is amazing. Wow. Well, a bighorn sheep may owe some of her life to first responders because they had to save her from a very icy jam. The animal found itself stuck after it fell through an iced-over river. Wildlife officers were able to help pull the sheep out, but then, of course, they had to warm her up, which they did do, wrapped her up in blankets, observed her for the evening. They decided she was healthy enough to return to the wild, so she was driven back to an area near her herd where they watched her bolt back to her home in the mountains. They're pretty sure she's okay.
Oh my goodness. You got to be careful with those horns. That's
exactly.
For sure.
I know. It's like, where do I grab exactly to pull you out?
Other duties as assigned for the job that day.
That's right. Well, after a very long recovery, a sea turtle is finally home. Those are the crowds cheering as Piari, the loggerhead sea turtle, took her first steps toward the water in Florida. They chose the name Piari because it's a Hindi word that means lovely or beloved. She was found way back in November after surviving what they think was probably a shark attack. Those injuries left her with only 3 flippers. Piari is now strong enough to be on her own, but you can see there they put a tracker on her, which she will wear forever so rescuers can keep tabs on her progress out there.
Oh my goodness. You know, there is a website too where you can track sea turtles.
Oh, that's neat.
So I'm going to see if I can find her on there and make sure she's doing okay out of the water.
Her name is Piari. Look it up. That's
okay.
awesome.
Noted.
Okay. Well, it's a theater production like no other. Still to come, a deaf-led play in Calgary uses no spoken or sign language.
CTV Ski Report, brought to you by Sunshine Village, home of Canada's best snow and hottest lifts.
Welcome back. Yeah, the warm-up continues. A little hard to see right now. We have a dense layer of clouds over the city. Not foggy, but just a cloudy day. So you're not really seeing that nice clear sky quite yet. But that clearing's going to happen overnight, resulting in a gorgeous start to tomorrow. But looking at the day that was, it was pretty nice and warm out there. Yeah, the conditions were a little gloomy, but 9 degrees currently, 10 for our high today. A nice double-digit conclusion conclusion to the end of January here, and it's been such a mild week. And I mentioned earlier in the show, we're not even at the halfway mark of this warming trend yet. So when we look at your 24-hour forecast here, brought to you by Action Furnace, fixed right or it's free, we don't even get below freezing tonight. Low of 2 degrees when that clearing effect starts to develop in the early morning hours. Sunshine to begin Saturday morning there with 4 degrees already and nice calm winds. And then January 31st, a high of 10 degrees for tomorrow. Back-to-back days of double digits. And heading into February, we're going to see a really pleasant start to the month as well. A little bit of precipitation possible in some parts of the province right now with all this cloud that's over us. So if you are planning to travel north along the QE2 there, you could see some showers, but again, we're not going below freezing, so it shouldn't get into some slippery ice there. And then it's just clouds really to the south of us as well. But I figured I'd throw in the rainfall forecast here for the next 24 hours. Calgary has the slight chance a little later this evening to see some isolated showers. Similar story for Banff and Lethbridge. It was a little earlier in the evening that you might have seen a drop or two in your city. And then it really flattens out that line because we're getting that high pressure moving in. So the next 3 days here in your regional forecast, lots of sunshine for Red Deer tomorrow, same in Drumheller and Lethbridge. If you're more in the higher elevations, you might even see a little bit of snow still, maybe a rain-snow mix possible for that Lake Louise area on Sunday. And then it's pretty windy in the Pincher Creek and Crow's Nest Pass area. Tomorrow, maybe a bit of a break on Sunday, and then back on Monday, you could see those wind gusts too. Because what's going on right now is we're getting basically back-to-back rounds of ridges of high pressure. Currently seeing one right now that has a little bit of a wave to it, and this starts to move out by Sunday, so temperatures will cool off just slightly as we get to the north side of the jet stream there. But then we get an even more dominant high pressure system moving in by Tuesday, peaking on Wednesday. You'll see in the 10-day trend here. By Wednesday, we're aiming for a high of 15 degrees. Again, this is February we're talking about. So a welcome warm up on the way, starts to gradually decline by the time we get into it next weekend. And then we'll probably see more of the cooler weather by around February 11th, Tara.
Thank you, Gina. RCMP are looking for a man accused of sexual assault at a central Alberta ranch. 72-year-old Barry Francis Baker used to work at a ranch that offers camps and retreats. He is accused of assaulting a girl when she was 16. A Vegas court has found Dances with Wolves actor Nathan Chasinghorse guilty of sexually assaulting a minor. He is also accused of sex crimes in Alberta. And Calgary police say the suspicious deaths of a man and a woman in their 20s in Redstone are not believed to be linked to a rash of extortion crimes, but investigators are not releasing the cause of death. The TSX took a tumble today, declining over 1,000 points. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez.
A steep stumble for the TSX. It was swept up in that downward spiral of gold and silver prices. Spot gold had its biggest drop in decades. On Thursday, an ounce was selling for $5,450 US. By the end of the trading day today, it was under $4,900. The price of silver fell more than 25%. Both move opposite to the U.S. dollar, which gained strength after the American president announced a new pick for U.S. Federal Reserve Chair. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.46. West Texas Intermediate today is up to 65.80. Western Canadian Select up over $2 to 50.63. And the TSX lost almost 1,100 points to end the week under 32,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
The federal and provincial governments are committing to providing everyone who lives in rural and remote areas of Alberta with high-speed internet access by the end of the decade. 27 projects were announced today to connect more than 83,000 homes in over 700 communities. These are the latest projects under the Universal Broadband Fund. That's a $3.2 billion federal initiative to connect more rural and remote communities. $622 million has been spent for previous projects under the fund in our province. The goal is to connect all Canadians to high-speed internet by 2030.
Students in the K-12 system who live in rural Alberta who have to drive into the nearest town and go to a Tim Hortons parking lot to get the Wi-Fi so they can do their homework. That's a perfect example of what we want to overcome.
Officials say a combination of signal towers, fiber lines, and low-orbiting satellites will allow them to reach the most difficult areas. Canada's ban on single-use plastics will remain in place. The appeal court has overturned a lower court decision from 2023 that ruled that Ottawa overstepped in designating all plastic manufactured items as toxic. Today, a three-panel judge says the government's decision to make that designation was reasonable. The ban includes the manufacture and import of 6 types of single-use plastics. A new deaf-led stage production in Calgary is challenging how stories are told on stage and who they're told for. Kevin Green explains.
Extinction is the central theme of a one-actor show, World Without Them. But actor and co-creator Landon Krentz says it goes far beyond dinosaurs and into the loss of species and cultures happening today.
The concept of this performance is about extinction. And when we think about extinction, we often don't think about extinction as part of our daily life.
Krentz says the show is designed to be fully accessible without using spoken word or signed language.
One of the largest barriers is accessible theater. When we think about what does theater mean to be accessible, and often theater companies think, well, we just have to hire an interpreter and that's accessible. That doesn't mean it's accessible to a deaf audience. That's mediation. That's not access.
Instead, the performance uses visual vernacular, a deaf performance tradition built on movement and expression.
And it's an abstract story, so will people fully understand it? Not likely, but I think that they'll understand the emotional journey attached to this story.
Director Eric Rose says different audience members will connect with the story in different ways.
That's what's so fascinating. At any one time, there can be different elements that are helping to shape and tell the story based on your choice as an audience.
The show was developed in Calgary and could tour internationally because it has no language barriers.
You don't need to understand sign language. You don't need to speak English or read or write English. It's a show that is accessible to both. And so I think it could be taken to other countries, for example, because there's no language barrier in that way.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
A World Without Them runs February 6th to 15th at West Village Theatre in Calgary. Canada's para-Nordic skiers have dominated in recent Paralympics. How many medals will they bring home this time? Glenn gets the athletes' thoughts on that coming up.
And it's the stories behind every torch. It's the stories behind every medal. It's the stories behind every blade.
A new display at the Olympic Oval features Winter Olympic torches dating back to the 1988 Olympics in Calgary. A Calgary philanthropist donated the torches for the permanent display, which will also highlight Canada's long track speed skating successes. Canada's speed skaters are on their way to Milan for this year's Winter Olympics, with the opening ceremony set for 1 week from today. It is qualifier Friday at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, one Alberta rink is in the final 6.
Tara, Edmonton's Selena Sturmey, 6-2 in the round robin, pretty good, and that was good enough for third place in Pool B. The Alberta rink in action tonight went up against Beth Peterson and her rink from Manitoba, who lost earlier today to Carrie Anderson and Team Canada. Second end, Manitoba up 2-0. Great shot here by Sturmey, hits the Redstone. It's the double takeout. That would tie the game at 2 apiece. All right, third end in Manitoba in all kinds of trouble. Alberta lying 4. So Kelsey Calvert, who throws skip stones, had the draw for just 1, but she comes up light. So it's a steal of 3 for Sturmey. They had a 5-2 lead. Let's go to the fourth end. Team Peterson in more trouble. Once again, Alberta has rocks in the house. Calvert trying the hit and roll, but it's not hard enough. Another steal of 3 for Alberta, commanding 8-2 lead. It's now 9-3 after 6 ends. So after going 8-0 in the round robin, Peterson in jeopardy of being eliminated. Canada announced its para-Nordic team today. It's a good mixture of youth and veterans.
Your 2026 para-Nordic Paralympic team.
15 Paranordic skiers will represent Canada at the Paralympic Winter Games in Milan Cortina in March. Mark Arends is one of the leaders on the team. He's representing Canada at the Games for the 5th time. Arends is one of Canada's most successful para-athletes of all time. He has 12 Paralympic medals.
Just continuing the consistency that I've shown in biathlon especially over the last few years, and also having that same consistency in the cross-country events. I think the course that we've seen in Italy suits me quite well, or I'll make sure it suits me, and it's all about the performances on the day.
Canada's Paranordic skiers have been dominant the last 2 Paralympics. They collected 14 medals at the Beijing Games in 2022 and 16 in Pyeongchang in 2018. Can this group collect even more?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. We have a lot of seasoned veterans on this team, and then a lot of newer athletes who this will be their first games. So I can't predict what will happen, but I know that we have a good group of people, and I'll be happy if we can all just leave everything out on the course and be happy with our performances.
Emma Archibald is going to her first Paralympic Games. She says all of the hard work is paid off.
I think we get so focused on the process and everything, so I think it's days like today that we just get to really sit with the fact that, okay, we've accomplished this goal of first off making the games, and now we get to go show our hard work over the past few years.
Brittany Hudak is going to her 4th Paralympic Games. She's a leader on this team and has this advice for first-timers.
To really just soak in the experience and learn as much as you can. It can be really busy at the Games, but I think I'm just hoping that the new athletes can really trust themselves, trust their process, and know that they've done good work and just give it everything they have out there.
The Paralympic Games run from March 6th to the 15th in Italy.
Thank you, Glenn. That's awesome. Well, let's take our final peek at the forecast, Gina.
Yeah, and we're going to start things off with this gorgeous shot taken this morning for our weather window here, brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. I mean, come on. Whenever you get to see such a gorgeous array of colors like that, it's worth taking a picture of. Thanks for doing that, Graham.
That's amazing.
I know. It's just calming, you know. I love this picture. All my favorite colors in one shot there. Gorgeous sunrise, and tomorrow's probably going to look pretty dang good in the morning too. Nice sunny start to the day. 4 degrees by the time if you're planning to be outside around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're already in the positives. We'll work our way up to a high of 10 degrees. Lots of sunshine throughout the day. Great day to be outside, and Sunday's pretty good too with 8 degrees. Bit more of that cloud moving in, and then for the big day, Groundhog Day Monday, a lot of sunshine for Balzac Billy to make his prognostication. I don't know what he's predicting, but when I look at that long-range forecast, I think we've got a few more days, at least a week and a half of spring-like weather ahead of us.
We like what we see.
Yeah.
For breaking news anytime, go to our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great weekend.